example. You see all of the birds there now. They're all getting very feisty. Animals like the barn owl. There's actually some really nice videos they show of a pigeon flying across a whole lot of microphones. Then they use a peregrine falcon or something like that, and they show the ripples on the microphones of the noises that those birds make. And they let a barn owl fly over, and there's almost nothing. The microphones don't pick up a sound. So with very large wings to body size, it enables the bird to have a lot more lift than is actually required, which means it requires less beating, less flapping, less energy, but also owls that hunt by hearing, their feathers are not barbed, so they're not hooked in any way, so that they're very, very soft in flight, and being very large enables them to fly almost silently. The camouflage is helpful. There's even a blue waxbill in there now, trying to give it a hard time. You can kind of hear the noises that are being made are similar to the chip, 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 chip noises that we often do to attract birds. Birds pick up on those alarm calls from a distance, and they often come to investigate. So it's often a great way to get birds to pop out and to show themselves. In the birding books, you'll read it as shing, with a whole lot of P's and F's and an S and an H at the end, and it's basically chip, 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 chip. Okay, well, we're educating you in the way of calling out birds. We're going to send you over to Josh, who's on a bumble. So, it seems you're learning about owls and their adaptations. There's some very cool ones. Apart from their ears being at different heights to the oil they secrete to stop their feathers making a noise, they are truly incredible birds. So we've left our aardvark / porcupine / warthog burrow. We're slowly bumbling back east, planning to check 1 or 2 water holes on our way. It's quite a stunning view there with the mountains in the far distance, but the wind is definitely still howling here. So everybody's hiding a little bit. Apart from obviously the normal, our grass and our grey camel thorns and that, it's been fairly quiet on our frontier at Tswalu. We're going to be heading back into the dune lands. Maybe, just maybe, find 1 or 2 different things on our way. Oh! Talk about different things, we found humans, which we're going to let pass. It's one of our other game viewers, and we'll let them carry on, see what else we find. We are still open and fairly busy. Tall sour grass here. If you walk through it, it has a causticness to its sap, which actually burns your skin a little bit, so not something you want to walk through in a pair of shorts. Well, we'll let you know if we find anything, but for now, we're going to be sending you across to Taylor again. Enjoy!
It is quite a cute scene, I suppose, but also I'm a little bit saddened. If you remember, just a little while ago, I mentioned that there is a cow and a calf that have been hanging around by themselves, and I've seen them for the last 10 days now. And here they are. They've come down to drink. So I wonder if it was them feeding on the marula tree that Ezulwini had pushed on over. I don't think that they'll stay here for too long. Now, I'm really not sure why they are on their own. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know what's happened, but they don't seem to want to socialize with anyone. It's not like they couldn't join up I don't know where their herd is. I haven't really got a clue as to why they are by themselves. But when I have seen them, there's always a young bull with them, probably just for companionship. But if she's on her own, then she must be quite happy to just sort of do her thing. Now, if you're wondering, maybe she's just got lost from her herd. I don't know if elephants can lose their herds, especially in areas like this. You know, there's constant communication amongst them, and they can communicate for huge distances without even making a sound that you and I could hear. And I think that they'd be able to find themselves. And if she picked up on the scent of her herd, then surely she would try and follow them. So I'm not sure why there's been a separation. The little elephant, however, has got to entertain itself. Normally, that's very dangerous, creeping towards the edge like that. If you tumble on in there, I can tell you right now, there's going to be lots of laughter coming from the side of the dam. Mom will probably have a heart attack, though. There'll be trumpeting, you can imagine. She'll try and save it, but the little one will be okay. You've chosen the worst spot to drink. Yes, Julia, I have full faith in this cow that she'd be able to protect her calf. I mean, an elephant is a big creature, hey? Even if it is just one elephant, it's a few tons. And I don't think that the lions in this area have an elephant. I've never seen them, feeding on elephants. And you don't really hear of prides of lions hunting these big creatures very often. However, if you head into some places outside of South Africa, especially if you go up into Zimbabwe, there's obviously the very famous prides of lions, and Hwangi National Park, where they will hunt young elephants that have, I suppose, been separated from their herd somehow. They'll tend to go for them here. But in an area like this, uncommon. I would say the biggest prey species that lions will hunt here, probably giraffe. But if they did learn how to catch elephants, it's a very dangerous affair, as you can imagine, then perhaps they would. The prides of lions also aren't very big here. You know, you don't have like 20 or 30 lions in one pride. Not yet. It's definitely possible that they could get to that. Look at her behavior. She's got her ears flared and her head up. So I think she might be a lot more standoffish with anything that surrounds her, because she's just on her own. But she was really just doing that to a herd of impala that were bounding about in the distance, just on the other side. So she just sort of head up, looked around, making sure, right, okay, not really a threat. We'll carry on with our sort of day. Ooh, I don't know if you can see, right up on top of that tree, there are two birds. This is difficult. Sorry, Niels, I might have thrown you in the deep end there. But there's two quite big birds bounding about. And those are Birchel's kukels. Can you hear them calling? Of course, they've stopped now. Did you hear that? That was the call. That doo, 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 doo. It doesn't sound like it's this pair that's calling. I think there must be another pair close by that are doing the same thing. Now they're just bounding up in the top of a knobthorn tree for the moment. There's an old folklore, old wives' tale, that these birds, when they do start to call, will indicate that rain is coming. However, I don't really think it works so well in the Lowveld, but definitely where I'm from in the Eastern Cape, so the southeast coast of South Africa, that rings true. Every time you hear those birds calling, and you normally hear more than one, you know that rain is on the way. Well, for the most part, it was quite true. There's also a few other birds in there, a couple of Birchel's starlings. But as the sun starts to set, it's time for us to start heading home, and it's only just beginning with Trishala's hyenas.
It's just cute, full of beans yet again. She's just lovely. Or he. Yes, we did determine the sex. So used to calling the cubs she. He. Oh, he almost looks like a bear. Oh, we were talking about bite force earlier. all this play is what strengthens and helps the development of those jaws, those teeth, the muscle. Don't get your head stuck between those two. So at the den at the moment, we've got Ribbon. She's suckling her one of her boys. And Tima was here. There's Tima's little one, of course. And then I saw Corky's girl. She is now. She's probably around or under the car somewhere. Hello, you little naughty thing. Aren't you just too precious? Yes. Now you want to be like all the big boys. You want to come by the car. She's still a little bit weary, aren't you? I love when they sit back like that. They look like such teddy bears. I've now come to the conclusion when this little one is around, all we're doing is oohing and eyeing at the den. With the occasional bit of information thrown in. Hey, I don't mind that at all. It's always good to just enjoy a sighting. There's Gingarika, Heart's daughter. And Carol, you say this little one is so cute. Absolutely. Just adorable. Look at that curiosity. And you get a really nice look at the spots that are starting to emerge on this little boy. He's still got that little cub belly. I quite like that. You would have seen that with puppies too. You know, that round belly. Again, this type of play, strengthening the jaws, strengthening the muscles, building that muscle, but also this vital information about where to bite, how you can bite, what hurts, what doesn't, what is permissible with your rank and what is not. All those things can be learned. I can't see anybody, but I can feel things moving underneath my car. Or can feel, you know, when you hear the metal, you can feel it pinging. There's a faint whine from Ribbon's boy. Ooh, that does not look very comfortable. And he was pulling on like that. Oh, that was interesting. There we go, heart has finally come along. The sound of wanting to be fed, and our mother's got up. Oh, amazing behavior, amazing sounds. We're gonna stick around here and watch it all.
It's the month of March and Wild Earth is offering you the chance to win a brand new prize. Sign up to be a Wild Earth Explorer and you could win a 5-day eco-training ranger experience for 2. Eco-training is the pioneer and leader in safari guide and wildlife training in Africa. The lucky winners can look forward to approaching dangerous game on foot, tracking and 4x4 driving, learning about animal behavior, and even spending one night sleeping out under a blanket of stars. In addition, you will also get the exclusive opportunity to join the Wild Earth team on the broadcasting vehicle. Sign up to be an explorer now, and it could be you that wins this life-changing experience. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm absolutely delighted to have won the February prize draw for 3 nights for 6 people at the Djuma Private Game Reserve. I absolutely love everything Wild Earth has to offer. I find the guides extremely knowledgeable and will go above and beyond to ensure a great safari experience. I will be taking my husband and family from the UK to experience this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. One of the main reasons I joined the Wild Earth Explorer program was for the fireside chats and also to win an incredible prize, which I'm so fortunate to win and incredibly happy. I would like to thank Wild Earth for this amazing prize and cannot wait to meet the team.
I'm Nikki here at Ambion Ngala in South Africa. I love getting questions from viewers about all the small things within the environment and how it all is integrated with one another. If you want to ask me any questions, please simply register with the Wild Earth website, head across to the Live Safari page and then post your questions there. I'm looking forward to chatting to you on my next Wild Earth drive.
Things have settled down just a little bit now. All 3 of the mums whose cubs are here, well, yeah, except for Corky's little one, are here now. So Ribbon is feeding her one boy. She's got her grandson there too. And this will be interesting to watch because last time, remember, that little one was going for Ribbon's teat, but was only being pushed away by her cubs. Both her boys were feeding. Now only one is, so it'll be interesting to watch what happens. Look, she's taking us on a tour of the mums. Now she's dropped us off at Hart, suckling her girl, and now she's gone and settled down with Intima. Oh, no, still need to play. That was so cute. This bush is in my face. Amazing. Douglas, you'd like to know how often hyenas will mate? There's actually a lot of mystery surrounding hyena mating because it's not often seen. You may be able to find some videos online and stuff like that, but it's not often seen, and that's because it's quite a difficult operation, because you know that the female has a pseudo penis, so there's no external opening for her actual vagina. So what ends up happening is she's got to kind of invert this the pseudo penis in order to mate, and that is a process, and it also leaves both her and the male in quite a vulnerable position. Let's just watch it, see what happens. And because they're in a vulnerable position, they're not usually out in the open where you can see clearly. But if you're asking about the frequency of mating, as in how often will they have a litter, it's about every 1.5 to 2 years. If that litter is still surviving to to sub-adulthood at least. If she loses a litter, she will be able to mate quicker. Oh, Ribbon, your tail is blocking the exact spot we want to see if this thing is suckling. Very cute. Look at that. This is so cute. He's getting pushed away by Ribbon's boy. Oh, this is not hot. Whoa, they swapped over. Oh, am I seeing things? No, they have swapped over. This is what happens when they all start moving together. So she was actually trying her luck with Heart there. And her girl. Well, at least she's learned not to try her luck with Ribbon's boy anymore. Well, I'm going to send you over to Rule. He's looking at a beautiful sky. Oh, and I was interrupted by a very, very, very loud Game Drive radio. Sorry about that. Let me send you over to Rule.
What a beautiful sunset. It is incredible how the color changes when that sun goes down. So I think now we'll just take a few moments just to absorb what we're looking at there, because it is going to change and it's going to disappear in the next while. How beautiful is that? Debbie, I believe you're asking if we have sunsets this beautiful in winter. I think we do. And in fact, I think around those months when it starts to get a lot windy, we get sunsets that are also a lot more beautiful than this all year round, provided it's not clouded. And you get beautiful, beautiful sunsets all year round. I think also in August, to be precise, is when we have very, very bright red sunsets because of all the dust particles that will be in the air. And when the sun rays or the sunlight hits on that, it just changes color. That is actually a very, very nice color that I see. can see it's almost like every minute we stay here, the color just keeps changing and it's getting darker and darker. Also because the sun is going down. All right. As beautiful as this is, I think we're gonna now start heading down south of those lines. In the meantime, we'll send you guys over to Steve.
Welcome to Torture, everybody, where we've had a young elephant bull displaying for us quite beautifully, a little group of them. Young bull actually just smashed a tree a moment ago. Small tree. Far bigger. Well, here we go. Here comes another attempt at another one. This is not the same bull. That's a younger bull. There's a teenager behind this bush here that is smashing another bush. Here he comes. Here he comes. He's showing us how big he is. You are so naughty, eh? Come on. Show us how big and strong you are again. Now these behaviors that you're seeing from this young bull, very stiff-tailed, running through bushes, pushing trees over, head held high like that. If you ever encounter a female like this, you should make a plan to leave. A big female, the matriarch. This guy's just the bigger of the young boys here, and he's really just trying to show everybody how big and strong he is. But those are the very telltale signs that you don't want to have with elephants. It's fine with the youngsters because they're learning how to be. That was terrifying. Half choked on his own. Oh my goodness. Well, Justin, this fellow certainly can break down trees. He's probably about 10 or 12 or something. Still trying to find his voice, though. They definitely have a lot of strength, even from youngsters, because, you know, a young elephant already weighs 100, 110 kilograms. So, but they're only feeding on vegetation after the age of 2.5, 3. So there's no need to be able to break it down. Here it comes again. I just love it. So the purpose of breaking down trees sometimes is for showing off and displaying. But these are just small little trees that this fellow has got unbroken. But breaking the branches is obviously an important sort of necessity when it comes to feeding. It's got a really funny noise. Let's move up a bit. Get another little view of this guy. He's going to give us another show. He smashed that tree, smashed this tree, and Mum's just sitting there and whatever. So it's the big adult females you've got to watch out for in the herd. Here we go. Here it comes again. Now he's showing his little sibling. You see these guys here? I'm not scared of them. The classic behavior of young bulls in herds, going through a little bit of a temper tantrum. Like I said, it's the adult females that, if they show these signs, you've got to be very careful. They're not stepping in front of its sibling going, you don't want to come out here, these people are dangerous. move up a moment. Oopsie, sorry.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm sure we'll get Steve back in no time. Here, there's been a lot of vocalizations. Let's just be quiet and listen for a little bit. Mom! You ran away with the milk. So something gave them quite a, well, they just got up very alert. So not a scare, but they were very, very alert. And then Ribbon keeps moving up and down. She keeps lifting her head up, like she's picked up a scent. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go down to Treehouse Dam and have a look. That's the direction that Ribbon's moved off in. She's moved off in that direction twice, and she's definitely picked up on a scent. So let's do that. You know how it is with these kind of things. When you get a clue or some sort of evidence, you need to kind of react to it very quickly. Because if there is a leopard around, it can be gone very quickly too. Now I know this particular road has been frequented by Shidulu, frequented by Kalamba. Haven't seen Kalamba in a while, possibly Shidulu around this area. Either way, it's that time of the evening when there's lots of excitement. In fact, there's even some excitement over with Josh at Tswalu. Go have a look.
So it sounds like you've had a lot of entertainment, from cheeky elephants to Tishala trying her luck to find the elusive rosetted cat. Well, on our side, PK and I have found our own excitement, which is things that are moving and not us. We have ended our drought. We're very happy that we found a wild family of meerkats, and a little bit more to the right, we're in luck and we found a lovely herd of springbok with a single wildebeest. So if you ever see a lonely wildebeest with a herd of springbok or impala in that, the reason is they're territorial, and he will try and stay in the company of anybody that's in that territory because it's safety in numbers. So a very simple method to have some extra eyes and ears, while he unfortunately has no ladies. But a nice little safety feature, and maybe just some company. The springbok herd is slowly moving off. This gentleman's watching them go and kind of going, oh, do I go with? Don't I go with? Am I invited? Looks like this herd, something's given them a little bit of a startle. And they've gone into that thicket there. Well, that was quick. Now meerkats are just watching us, wondering what's going on. So obviously we have the three habituated families of meerkats here on Tswalu. The Xhosa family, the Mokalas, and the Rockstars. But obviously on a property this size, we have a huge amount of wild families as well. As you can see, the springbok are also watching the meerkats and going, what's going on? This nice small lamb there. So, oh, there goes Mom. And the little one not far behind. It's one of the first ones I've seen. The little one. Oop, on the move. And here come the rest. A little bit of a walk by or run by for the meerkats. As you can see, a little bit scared there. What was that? The whole family paying attention. So that lamb would have joined this herd about 2 days after it was born. So they're able to walk very quickly after being born, but it's going to take them a little while for everything to sort of settle in place and for mom to recover before rejoining the breeding herd again. You can see they're still around. Always nice to spend time with these semi-arid specialists. A very pretty antelope, and that lamb is very cute and very small. I wouldn't say it's more than a few weeks old, to be honest. Gerald, I agree. It is nice to have them still out at this time, but I do think in the next minute or few, they'll definitely be going underground. It's still very cold, or getting a little bit colder with the wind, and I think you'll find that as it gets a little bit darker, they'll go under soon. So depending on how successful their foraging has been, they might bed down a bit earlier, but if it's been a little bit tougher that day, it might take them a while longer. As long as they're down before night truly sets, they're good to go. So it's quite a large family by the looks of things. Very alert. So the burrow system's fairly close by. And this group is spread out over maybe 20 or 30 meters. But to their advantage, there are a few crowned lapwings around, so a little bit closer to us. A small bird with a lot of attitude, which will alarm call if they see any predators. So they're just to the right of the meerkats and a bit closer to us. You can just see them on the screen there. So if you're ever stuck out in the bush and you have to spend the night out there, find a field full of these guys. They'll eventually settle down if you don't move too much. But if anything comes near, they will create a massive racket and maybe dive bomb the problem. So I think I'll stick to cute and cuddly meerkats, and I'll send you across to Steve and his cheeky elephant. Enjoy. Well, we're with a very cheeky bunch of elephants. I'm sorry you lost us before, but the one you saw before has been partnered up with two others that have been giving us such a wonderful show, breaking branches. Now they're all feeding. They're pretending they weren't getting involved with any sort of angst. But I believe, and I have a very strong feeling, it's going to just suddenly happen again in a moment as they realize that we are here. Comes a youngish bull from the side, and watch the behavior change as this other bull moves in. Now look at all of them looking at us. We weren't being naughty, Mum. Oh, it's actually a lady there. She's come to tell them off. What are you doing playing with these people? Like, no, we weren't. We weren't playing. Come in to look at us and find out what's all the matter. It's okay, Mama, we were just sitting here enjoying the view. They were misbehaving. Nothing to do with us, I promise. yes, of course, Carl. Their sense of smell is incredible. So they'd all have a unique smell, a unique scent. They're probably also although we all think elephants look the same, they've all got unique characteristics about them. Just like they probably think we all look the same, but then we all smell quite different. And no doubt they can pick up on that. But yeah, elephants, they've got a good memory. They're with their siblings for quite so many years. And then they will obviously, if they do lose them for a bit of time, say a brother goes away for some time, they will remember them by smell. See, now mums come together to get them all together and say, come on, let's move sideways, away from these people. Okay, Mama, what's going on now with you? It's all good. Why are you suddenly behaving like that? She's giving us the proper nursery, the proper librarian stare. It's okay. She's right. She's just trying to figure out what it is that has called all of her youngsters to behave so. It's okay, Mama. Okay. We see you there. I see you. Yeah. You're beautiful. Your babies are beautiful too. Have I driven in something you don't like? Seems like it. Must be something on my wheel. Now, if she was completely angst, this youngster would not be between her and us. She's not a very big female. She's probably in her 20s or so. She's just not 100% certain about what's going on. Why are they all behaving like this? As the square-tailed nightjar starts to call behind us. Tail's very relaxed. We've definitely driven in something, Jan. He doesn't like the smell of something that we brought along. No, that's definitely the smell. Little ones like, see, Mum, I told you they came with something horrible on their wheel. Here comes our friend again. Elephant dwarfism. Liesel, I'm not sure if I've heard of elephant dwarfism. You do get the pygmy elephant, or the forest elephant, in sort of the Central African region. They're just far smaller due to the environment that they're in. But elephants, as far as I've known, always pretty much grow to quite a big size. I just heard our hyena off to the right making a lot of noise. I wonder if it's a calling, rallying sound. This Mama's still not 100% happy with us, eh? But her youngsters are feeding. Life is good. No one else in the herd is reacting. But we are truly blessed to have situations like this. Spend time with elephants. Absolutely one of my favorite things to do, especially when you get naughty little boys that start smashing trees over. Show you how big and strong they are. Typical boys, eh? Look what I can do.
On the 27th of April, Wild Earth will be turning 14 years old, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of you. And to celebrate, we will be finishing the beautiful book that we started last year that looks at the history so far. But we do need you to be part of it. Please submit your most memorable sighting, or what Wild Earth means to you, or even just your name and a comment to be included inside the book. Head over to the website to add your name and reserve your copy. We are offering a 20% discount on all books bought before the end of March. And a big thank you to all of you who have contributed to the book so far.
With a slew of potential dangers lurking, it's essential to be aware of your surroundings whilst walking in the wilderness.
20 yards away from one of the most endangered species. This is a big bull.
What a moment, what a close encounter with an Ellie bull. He's just over here now. He's moved completely away.
Being on a bushwalk and seeing a leopard, I mean, it's ridiculous to be this close to a leopard on foot and for him not to run is absolutely insane. How crazy was that?
Through the gap there is just the back of the head of a male lion. He is absolutely unaware that we are here right now. I tell you, seeing lions on foot, it definitely brings out the caveman in you, this little scared human being.
My name is Ross and I'm a field guide at and beyond Pinde Private Game Reserve. I love getting questions from guests on Wild Earth because I love sharing and learning information about nature with new people, and it also makes me feel like you're all joining me in real life. If you want to ask a question on Wild Earth, then you need to register on our website. Once registered, go to our live safari page and submit your question below our live feed.
We are still in the vicinity of the den. It's just that Ribbon and Heart keep moving around in a circle, and they keep seeing something or hearing something, smelling something in the block off to the west of the den. So something is definitely happening. We just need to figure out what that something is so we can stop calling it something and maybe just call it a leopard or a lion or whatever it is. But we have to find it first. The cubs, obviously a lot of them were feeding. So they had a lot to say about the fact that their mums were out and about and looking for whatever it is that they obviously didn't care enough about, because their primary concern was milk. So there was a lot of protest, and they even had to be sent back, walked back and then sent into the den while the two mothers investigated. So the block that I'm talking about is off to my left here. That's where they keep darting in and out of. But they're also not sure about what, or they're not sure if it's there or whatever it is close or far, because they're not reacting. They're just trying to figure it out. Seabreath, you'd like to know if hyenas or leopards are the only animal that hyenas will follow? No, they love to follow wild dogs too. They'll definitely follow lions. They'll follow any animal that could potentially give them a free meal. So they'll follow any of the predators. Cheetahs as well, and if their meals get stolen, or rather not followed, but found by hyenas, and if their meals get stolen, or if they have hyenas close by, it'll very, very likely be stolen, because cheetahs are so specialized to chasing down prey that their ability to defend their prey is very, very reduced. So hyenas take advantage of that. But in areas where there are hyenas, cheetahs will try desperately to kind of consume as much as they can very quickly, but they still need a period of rest before they can eat. Same goes for leopards. In areas where there aren't hyenas, leopards won't hoist their kills. And if there is a large population or a good population of hyenas, leopards will be hoisting their kills all the time. It's the only way to ensure its safety. What's nice is that it's a very narrow area. It's a particular block that we're looking in. Hi, Wildstock. You'd like to know how big can hyena clans get? They can get pretty big. I'd say our Juma clan is a big clan. It's about 26, 27 individuals. That's a big clan, a sizable clan, but they can't even get bigger than that. Like up in East Africa in the Mara, they can get larger than that. But not by much. You're looking at about maybe 30 to 40 individuals. I've heard, but I have no evidence for it, that there could be up to 50 individuals, especially up in the Mara, but I myself have not seen any evidence of that. Bumpy ride, guys, bumpy ride. What happens? Look at the road. This is what happens when you can't. What was I going to say? When you can't look at the road, but you have to look out. Okay, I see nothing and I hear nothing. But I'm going to continue to look. It's always important to also just stop and listen every now and then, but I'm going to continue doing rounds of this block. See what happens. I'm going to send you over to Josh at Tswalu in the meantime.
So our meerkats have gone down, our springbok have moved on, and our wildebeest is still looking slightly confused. And we're on the move again, heading back towards the mountains and home, but most importantly towards Tswalu Dam to see what can we find before the last of the light is gone. So hopefully something big, or maybe even something small, you just never know. But with the sun setting behind us, there's some nice colors in the sky, which is quite beautiful, and it's also getting rather chilly, I must admit. Myself and BK have wrapped into a jacket. We're trying to decide whether or not we might need another layer. But for now, we carry on and see what else we can find. From tomorrow morning, Obi, one of our other guides, will be taking over from me and carrying the torch for a few days. So this will be my last drive for a few days with you. We definitely want to see if we can't end it with a bang. But on the look, you never know what you can find. But it is a somewhat chilly but very beautiful evening. So we've had a question from PJ, and it's, what is the most rare animal in Tswalu? And I will answer that shortly. But what we have found, and he is a little bit shy, is a very large, dark eland bull. He's running there. Take a look at Africa's largest antelope and the heaviest. In the background, if you can hear it, some jackals calling. Gonna try and see if he comes out on the other side. very large bull, and as they get older, they get that dark silver grey coat. Just gonna adjust quickly, folks. Try and get you another look. Oh, he's about to crest the dune. We might get, oh, nice image there. There you go, a stunning silhouette of a giant eland bull. And gone. Well, we'll try and follow him slowly. We obviously don't want to have an issue with him, but that was cool, something different. Back to the question. So PJ's question was, what is the rarest animal on Tswalu? Now, depending on how you classify rare, we're looking at the animal we chase the most in terms of the one we all want to see, and is the most endangered, then it is the ground pangolin. So Temaniki, we have an amazing research project here at Tswalu, run by a researcher by the name of Wendy Panino that works specifically with the ground pangolin through the Tswalu Foundation. It is the most trafficked animal in the world, so anytime one can see a pangolin is definitely a massive highlight. We call it the guide's unicorn, in the fact that many guides can go through their whole careers either seeing none or maybe, if they're lucky, one. But it is something that Tswalu is world renowned for, is having a healthy population of pangolin, as well as the research on them. Our eland is still running. We can see him in the distance, but he's very much camera shy, so we're going to leave him to it and keep bumbling on. So Zulu's asked, why do eland have so much excess skin? So as a bull gets older, he develops that thick dewlap. But remember, as he also gets older, there's a point where he goes past his prime, and he actually starts to lose a bit of weight as well as he gets older. Becomes slightly more frail, if you like. And I think that's why in that particular individual, you might find it looks like he has a huge amount of excess skin. So at full size, he's anything up to about 900 kilos. As well as, I know they have recorded heavier, but on average, being that close to a ton, that's a lot of meat. And as he gets a bit older, he'll obviously shrink, as I said, and that might be where that excess skin is coming from, Zulu. Another lonely wildebeest bull. This one's decided to hide. Oh, no, there he is. He's not so keen on hiding behind a bush, which is quite nice. But I think we'll leave him to his mission. We're going to keep bumbling on. I'm just going to share with you a lovely gemsbok here to the right. A stunning silhouette that speaks for the Kalahari. A very typical image of a stunning gemsbok on the Kalahari red sand. Now, you can only imagine what it looks like if we were on the other side with them highlighted against that sky you saw briefly there with PK. While we enjoy this view, we're going to be sending you across to Rule, who's got some big cats for you.
Look there, mostly what we can see is lines, and some of them we can just see the reflection of the eyes through the grass. You see that young male. It's incredible how much now they blend in, even more than they did this morning. because it's getting dark, all the potential prey for these guys are also losing light. So the eyesight of the antelopes or the impalas and the wildebeest and all that is not that good at night. So basically, it's difficult for them to see. And knowing how well these lions blend in the evening is just scary. But, however, looks like they've decided to move slightly west of their previous position that they were this morning, which is a good sign. If they can keep heading north and west, maybe, just maybe, they might join up with the rest of the pride. It's been a while since we've seen the whole pride together in one place. And just behind that male there, you can see there's another lion lying down. And if you look in that bush right in the middle of your screen, see, looks like there's also a pair of eyes there. I think the lion might have taken his head down. But this just shows you how well hidden after dark these lions can get. Evers, you're asking if lions would eat animals that have been killed by a venomous snake. So I think, let me first clarify there. So venom is only harmful if it is injected. And the difference between venom and poison is that poison is consumed and venom is injected. So if you were to eat anything venomous, provided that venom does not go through your bloodstream, you don't have any open wounds or cuts inside, then you would be fine. But to answer your question, I think if that animal has just recently died, it is an opportunity that the lions will take and eat. The only problem would be if the lion has any open cuts inside where that venom would manage to access its bloodstream, therefore becoming quite venomous. But I think it is a very good opportunity for them and they'll take it. But if it's been dead for quite a long time and it's going off, they will not eat it, not because it's got venom, but just because it's almost rotten. You can see the eyes and they reflect to the light. So in most cases in the evenings, that helps a lot when we're looking for these animals, because that now sticks out, especially with the light. And you can see they're starting to become more active and playful. Right now I'm not too sure, but I think that one at the back is the white one. See, if you look at the ears there, you'll see that they are not as prominent black as they are of the other ones. So I think that is that white female that's just joining in on the fun. Right, we can see the signs of these animals starting to be more and more active Like I'm expecting a couple of yawns and stretches from them. Maybe they'll get up. And while we wait for that, in the meantime, we'll send you guys over to Tswalu.
I found one of my favorites while we were zooming around, trying to figure out what's happening. Everybody's left the den. And we just needed to stay still and listen out. And then we found this little guy. And there's no perfect way, more perfect way than I'd like to spend the time listening for a predator than to spend it with a flap-necked chameleon. What's nice is he's still pretty active. He's been moving around. And he's quite big. Isn't it beautiful? I love him so much. I would love to see them in another sighting. You know what I mean? Like you have a leopard sighting or something. I feel the need to be quiet when they move for some reason. Like there's this excitement or something building up to them moving. So as you know, they are slow movers, except for that tongue of theirs. Definitely not a slow-moving tongue. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Can you see that between the grooves there? It's just puffed up its neck a little bit. Between the grooves, it has a yellowy tinge. Oh, this is so awesome. Leslie Ann, you'd like to know if this is the famous Fernando? It is not the famous, I mean, it could be Fernando, but it's not near Fernando's bush. Wasn't Fernando so lovely? We could visit him all the time. But, Leslie, it's not Fernando. I wish it was. But I'm happy to make friends with all kinds of chameleons. Fernando or otherwise, hello. Yes, we are very interested in you. Do you remember Nanorka as well? The chameleon that used to live in the upper leaf on Western Quarantine? She was the first one first chameleon I was properly acquainted with. And she started what is now a chameleon, not obsession, interest, shall we say. This chameleon is very aware of our presence, so when it puffed up its chin, it didn't do it very aggressively and not very inflated. But the fact that it did it a little bit tells me that he's very aware, or she's very aware of us. My spotlight is actually pointing down towards the tree, so you're just seeing the edges of the spotlight lighting it up. Hi, Ewan, you're 12 years old and you have a very important question. You would like to know, why do chameleons change color? That is a very important question, because sometimes we get it wrong. And the reason that they change color is based on changes in their body. So hormonal changes, that's chemical changes in your body. You know, Ewan, sometimes you'll feel angry and maybe your face gets red and you make fists with your hands. So like the color of your face is changing because your emotion has changed. That's why chameleons change color. They change color based on hormones. And hormones can influence emotions. So with animals, or wild animals, we don't talk about emotions as much because we don't understand how they feel. but we can talk about hormones. So chameleons change color based on whether their hormones are going up and down and which ones are going up and down, because there's a whole lot of different types of hormones. Maybe they're feeling a bit scared. Maybe they're feeling that they're too visible. All those feelings can influence whether they change color. But Johan, they don't change color because they want to blend in or because of camouflage. Nope. Anyway, I'm going to stick around here and listen out for any clues as to what was distracting the hyenas. And I'm going to send you over to Tswalu with a beautiful sunset.
Learning about chameleons, very cool. They are fascinating. We decided to stop for a sec and just slow down again and enjoy a stunning Kalahari sky. It is very cloudy everywhere else at the moment. We've got one or two open patches allowing through that last light of day. It's always nice. I don't think I'll ever get tired of the Kalahari skies. The wind is promising rain, I think. Be interested to see what it delivers. But for now, just sit and enjoy the silence for a moment. It is indeed stunning, Meg, but I'd love to meet the artist that could capture it. It does indeed look like a picture. So much contrast, there's so much difference. We're going to pan the camera a little bit to the left into the shadow. Every now and then we're getting these lovely lightning flashes that turn the sky slightly red. We'll see if we're lucky enough to be able to share it with you a little bit there. Obviously, rain in the desert is always something to be celebrated. But I think that storm is far away. We're getting the odd flash, but not very frequent. Definitely not the worst way to end a day. Absolutely stunning.
For all of you Wild Earth explorers who bought plaques, today is the day that you will make your very first safari on our vehicle. Because we are quite remote here in the bush, they have taken some time to arrive, but I am happy to say they are here and they look great. Marcel has spent the day attaching them. Let's take a look.
Before we mount these nameplates, we just give a light dusting of green paint. This is to better match them to the color of the vehicles and also to decrease the reflectivity of the metal and thereby staying sensitive towards the animals.
Bumbo crew, hopefully Dan Black, Liesel Apgar and Alicia George. Well, it's time for me to get ready to take you all on a safari. Let's go.
Wild Earth explorer Jenny recently joined Tristan as he broadcast live from Djuma.
Awesome to kind of have a guest on board. I'm looking forward to this. This is Jenny.
Hi everyone.
And Jenny is the first of our Ticket to Dream holders.
If you want to go on safari with a Wild Earth guide, whilst honing your bush knowledge and of course featuring in one of our shows, then head over to our website.
Literally being with Tristan on the vehicle today has been incredible. It has truly been a dream come true.
Sign up to be a Wild Earth explorer and you could be making your first ever on-screen appearance.
I would highly recommend being a part of the Explorer program and being able to be a part of an interactive live drive.
My name is Taylor McCurdy and I work for Eco Training. I love hearing from all of the viewers. However, I particularly enjoy those of you who have been watching for a few years. Your questions are just so advanced and they really get me thinking. If you'd like to ask a question on Wild Earth, you need to register on our website. Once you've done that, head to the live safari page and submit your questions below the live feed.
We haven't heard any alarm calls, any whooping, anything like that. Which is unfortunate. I would have loved to have found leopard, but we still have a bit of time. So after we're done with this lovely chameleon, it's a male. I saw a hemipenile bulge. It's difficult to see from your angle. That's how I'd be able to tell that it's a male. Once we're done here with him, we can maybe move up towards quarantine, which is always a good area, like we've spoken about before, a good area for leopard action. Moondas, you'd like to know if they always stay in one bush or tree? No, sometimes they do. Like this guy, we can come see if he's here tomorrow in the day, because then we have nice daylight. It's lovely to see them then. But most often not. That's why I think Fernando and Anoka, those two comedians we were talking about previously, that we got to spend a lot of time with, that's why it was so interesting, because normally they'll move around. But those two stayed in the exact same bush for months, on separate occasions in different bushes and two separate comedians. But it was incredible behavior to see. But they do hold territories. Flat-necked chameleons are territorial, but their territories are small. Just a couple, maybe 10 to 20 meters squared. So very small, but they'll move around within that territory. So you can try and look and see within that kind of area around where you first found them and see if you'll find it again. But it's actually finding them within the territory that's a problem. There's denser areas. And something's just landed in front of it. It's not usually a time when they're too active, and it should be coming to a close now, but I guess if something lands in front of it, it's gonna go. Have you seen it? Hi, Peter Pan. You'd like to know if all chameleons are naturally green? Well, funny you should ask that question. Green is just the relaxed state of a chameleon. Oh, it just flew away. So, chameleons have different layers of different types of pigments in their skin. Several layers. Depending on which chameleons, they can have more or fewer layers. But they always have a layer of iridophores, melanophores, and xanthophores. So when they can either expand or contract their cells that hold the pockets, that are little pockets of pigment, and when they stretch it out, it's because they're excited. And by stretching out different layers, the different pockets of pigment in the different layers, they can create different colors. But when they're relaxed, those pockets are not stretched out. They're just in a normal state. And in a normal state, with all of the color pockets relaxed, the xanthophores, which is a yellow layer, and then the iridophores, which is a layer that reflects light in different ways, it does not have a pigment. Those two layers combined in a relaxed state produce the green. So what we're saying is essentially an illusion, which I find just totally fascinating. Let's try to light the back of him, see if that helps. A really gorgeous chameleon. You know I love them, and I love sharing all this information about them with you, and of course spending time with the chameleon with you. So thank you guys, but I'm going to send you over to some lions now.
Now you can see that they are certainly getting more and more active at this time. And you can see some of them are starting to get up and be playful. And I think there's the white one there. That's the young white male. See, it seems like they are all getting up. I don't know if they are congregating behind that bush or they are moving on. And there's the second white one coming in behind them. I think it's time for these lions to get on the move on. So if they keep moving like this, the section that they're going to get into is quite rocky. We'll try and keep up with them for as long as we can. See that old sub-adult male is just sitting there and watching, and I think that's the female next to him. Bradley, I believe your question is, how do they hunt if it's so dark? So, if you look at that young male carefully there, and you look underneath his eye, you'll see there's like a white, almost like a line underneath the eye there. If he lifts up the head, just have a look there. And that helps them, you see there, in the evenings when it's dark, that white helps to reflect the light inside to the lion's eyes, allowing them to see a lot more, especially these evenings where there is the moonlight there. So at night, they actually have better eyesight than we do, or than any other all the prey animals like the general game and all that. So lions' eyes are designed to actually see in the dark, and that white helps to reflect light in to the eye, allowing them to see a little bit more. You see he's also up, just headbutting that female. Also showing signs of being active, and I think he also wants to get a move on. He's had a very interesting life, this young male. Well, that's actually one of the sub-adults. You can see I saw bits of the mane underneath the neck there when I looked. And there he goes. Maybe he was just having a little bit of fun. Stanley, you're asking if lions mate with females within their prides. So that is very rare to see it happen, but in several occasions it might happen. For example, if there aren't any males in that pride and the young males grow up and no one kicks them out. So the one reason why young males get kicked out is also to avoid inbreeding, which would be to avoid them mating with their own family and all that. But in this case, we have that young male. He's been with the pride now for 4.5 years. He was supposed to have been kicked out of the pride quite a while back, and he hasn't been. So it's going to be interesting to see, because the Ross males, or the both males that are the dominant ones, are getting old. So I think they might also just allow him to stay with the pride, as a way of them getting a new pair of muscles in their coalition. Of course, they'll have to set the hierarchy amongst themselves, and they'll always put him in his place, especially when it comes to mating. So it'll be interesting to see if they will allow him to mate. It has been known or seen, but it's just very, very rare. It doesn't happen often. All right, I think we're going to try and reposition, see if we might be able to get another glimpse or get another view of these animals while they are on the move out here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to try and keep up for as long as I can with these animals, because it is just getting dark, and this area that we're in sometimes is very rocky, and with all the rain that we've had, we could also get stuck. So I don't know if they've come up to the road. All right, I think while we're still looking now, let's quickly send you guys over to Josh. He's found a nocturnal animal for you guys to have a look at.
So folks, I believe earlier you might have learned a little bit about these amazing birds. So what we've got here, the spotted eagle owl. Now, we've been talking about the adaptations they have for hunting. One of my personal favorites is the fact that their ears are at slightly different heights, with one tilted slightly up and one tilted slightly down. This allows them to have amazing pinpoint accuracy when listening for the sounds of their small prey. Now,
primarily it'll be rodents out here, and because of the fantastic rains, obviously our vegetation has exploded, which means our rodent population has exploded. And a byproduct of that is a very happy owl population. As you can see, the wind's blowing him around a little bit. Oh, he is going down a bit. So let me find another spot. So looking with the naked eye, I can't see him at all. So King, your question, why does he move his head like that, is he is constantly scanning and listening and trying to pinpoint what's going on around him. So it just allows that much more accuracy as to where and what's going on. But that lovely 360 is quite comical. His eyesight is much, much better than ours. He's quite curious as to what's going on. That walking motion looks very entertaining. Half inclined to think he's going to charge my car. Having a look around, looking for his meal, so definitely one of the night shift. And looking over my steering wheel, I know he's in the road, but I can't see him at all. Amazing what technology can do. Robin, he is indeed very beautiful, and by the looks of it, giving us a bit of a dance recital as well. So, a common misbelief or myth is the fact that an owl can turn its head 360 degrees. And if you think about it, any species that has a spine wouldn't be able to do that. So he can turn his head about 180, but he definitely cannot do 360 degrees. It is a common misconception. Look at that intent pose. A lot going on there. I wonder what has caught his attention. Joy, there's a lot more than a single mating pair. If anything, I'd say we have a lot. We're very lucky to have a healthy population of spotted eagle owls and a lot of juveniles running around. So primarily at night, we're finding that they are on the roads. The reason being, obviously, it makes it a lot easier for hunting. They can see the mice running across the road, and they can hear them. Oh, he's going back and forth. But yes, I would say we have a lot more than a single pair. We have a very healthy population. What they will sometimes do is, when hunting, they make almost no sound when flying. And this is due to a slight adaptation, which their feathers make no sound when rubbing against each other due to an oil they secrete. But they also, when walking around, will sometimes rush into a thicket to grab something that's roosting or resting there. Quite a amazing little hunter. This one's taken off into the night, so we're going to continue bumbling along, and maybe we get lucky and find another or someone different. hope you enjoyed a little bit of time with our owl. We're going to be sending you across to Tswalu, who has something interesting to share with you.
It is. Can you even see it? It's a katydid, everybody. Or a bush cricket, whatever you'd like to call it. I'm trying to figure out exactly what species it is, so I'm just paging through my insect book at the moment. But they're really, really cool. They were also at one point called longhorned grasshoppers because of their obvious, very long antennae. My book is not providing today. I love stopping over for these little things because it's only like this that you actually get to learn specifically about the species, or get to recognize this species. Nope. Can't seem to find it. But very, very cool. So they are orthopterans, so in that same genus, or same order rather, of grasshoppers and the like. And they camouflage very, very well. As you can see, it pretty much looks like a leaf. Colors and shapes pretty much like a leaf. Actually, when I first spotted it, I thought it might have been a very tiny chameleon, and I was just telling him, Paul, that I want to find a baby chameleon. And then I saw this reflection with the spotlight, and I thought, oh, could it be? Could my dream have come true? But it was katydid. Still okay. But it is very small. It's probably about 4 centimeters or so. Tiny, tiny thing. But because I was looking for a chameleon, I managed to spot it. It's so still. Susan, you say it's so interesting how many plant-looking insects there are? Yeah, because most of these insects want to, or have an arboreal lifestyle. They're in and around plants, and it's best to blend in. Especially if you could be taken by birds, it's best to blend in. But there are those that are exceptional. Katydids are exceptional in their resemblance to leaves and stick insects, as you know, their resemblance to sticks. Really, really sort of makes you appreciate the way that nature can fine-tune something. Things that are completely different can look alike. And obviously, if it didn't help, it wouldn't persist. Look how still it is. It hasn't moved at all. You actually do find them in trees in the evenings quite often because you'll hear them stridulating. Especially in the evenings. But this one has not moved, has not made a sound. Sorry if you hear lots of sound in the background. We're quite close to the camps. So you might hear vehicles and or generators. I'm just so surprised at the total lack of movement. Well, I guess I shouldn't be. Because if I was something that was going to be eaten by a bird or any other type of animal, I'd be staying very still if I saw a big chunk of metal coming towards me with a light. Anyway, Roel has caught up with his lions. Let me send you back over that side.
Now you can see that these lions have all grouped up. We're fortunate that they were walking on the road. However, there are still at least 2 pride members that we've left back there, and I think also come to join up. Maybe one of the old lionesses as well back there. But on the good news side is that they are moving north for now in their general direction. They might cut off, and earlier on when we were coming down here, we drove past a very open area that had a lot of zebras and impalas and wildebeest. So it is the time of the day for them to actually start hunting, look for anything to eat. So if they carry on north, they might just walk straight into that herd there. You can see the white ones yawning as well. They are quite playful and they're very energetic. So I'm hoping that they keep moving north and they don't go east to cross out of our property. But if they keep moving north, that would be fantastic. Maybe they might join up with the rest of the Birmingham Pride in the central parts of the reserve. I have not seen all of them together. Velo, you're asking if the lions only respond to a distress call from their own pride. So I think it would depend, because remember when lions make that call with the sound of the voice, they are able to identify or maybe try and gauge the size of the animal. So if it is a lion distress calling and they can hear that it's a big male, it would probably not be a good idea to respond. But in most cases, lions would distress call in their territory. So yes, they would respond to the distress call of their own pride members. In that way, they avoid getting into unnecessary trouble. And at this time, they would make a lot. When we were sitting earlier back there, I heard one making some sort of a contact call. Also maybe communicating to the rest of the pride about moving. But if you look behind the ears, you'll see that that black sticks out. Would a pride decide to break away? Look, I believe that's your question. So this pride in particular, the Birmingham Pride, I think over 5 or 6 years ago, their numbers were around 24 lions altogether. And they decided to split up because when the pride becomes too big, remember, hunting, they work together as a team, but when they start eating, it is competition. And every lion just tries to grab whatever food they can get out of that prey. So if the lion prides become big and they easily finish off a buffalo carcass within a day or within a matter of hours, it means they are gonna have to keep hunting constantly in order for them to have enough food to sustain themselves. So breaking up becomes an option. Like right now we have the Birmingham Breakaway, which was once part of the Birmingham Pride. So that pride and this pride split, and that one moved further west of our property. And they've been moving in and out from the western side of the property. So when the pride becomes too big, they do split up, and it just makes it easier for them. But surprisingly enough, these lions here that you're looking at right now, about 4 years ago, there was just 6 of these lions after they split up. And after those 6, the 2 males moved in that made 8. And with these sub-adult lions that we see now that they have, which is 8 of them, it made them 16. And then 1 lioness gave birth to 2, and then added that to 18. And last year, December, a lioness gave birth to 3, which made 21. And recently, a few weeks ago, I think, or maybe a month now, another lioness gave birth to 2, which made their numbers back up to 23. Should all those cubs that I've mentioned survive, then this pride will be back at the numbers of 23 lions altogether, which is going to be a very big pride. So if they kill a kudu, it's not going to be enough to last them. They'll constantly need to hunting down big game like buffalo or try and bring down giraffe. So I think that would also be the reason that would lead to them splitting up again. You can see, doesn't look like they're in a hurry to make this movement. Maybe in the past few days that they had disappeared, they might have had something to eat, because where they were found, actually very close to a quarry that has water in it. Maybe they also had a drink there. And along the roads there are puddles, and inside a lot of puddles in these bushes. So it doesn't really look like they are in a hurry to get a move on. However, they are active and they are wanting to move. I'm just hoping that they move north and more northwest. There you can see that white young male. Looks like he is going off the road and into the bushes over there. Earlier I did see another one move in that direction. Maybe they might all join up with him in there, that young male.
It's the month of March and Wild Earth is offering you the chance to win a brand new prize. Sign up to be a Wild Earth Explorer and you could win a 5-day eco-training ranger experience for 2. Eco-training is the pioneer and leader in safari guide and wildlife training in Africa. The lucky winners can look forward to approaching dangerous game on foot, tracking and 4x4 driving, learning about animal behavior, and even spending one night sleeping out under a blanket of stars. In addition, you will also get the exclusive opportunity to join the Wild Earth team on the broadcasting vehicle. Sign up to be an explorer now, and it could be you that wins this life-changing experience. Terms and conditions apply. Our lives are dictated by alarm clocks, traffic jams, constant multitasking, and countless distractions. The wilderness is where many of us feel the most human. On a bushwalk, we become part of the natural landscape. As you step off the vehicle, everything comes alive. As with any risky experience, Walking amongst these animals inspires awe and appreciation. Now it's your turn to go on a bushwalk. Join us from Pride Lands as we slow down our thoughts, put aside our distractions, and reconnect with a place that first taught us how to be human.
I love being a cam up for Wild Earth. The animals coming right up close to you, especially like lions. Sometimes you get nervous, but you have to go with the flow. My favorite animal to film is the elephant because of how big it is. But when it's really up close to you, it's one animal that you would say, I really respect you.
Oh, there goes a yawn. See, these two have still decided at least to stay with us. And I could hear very close to the vehicle that maybe those two that we left back there were moving past. See, they've also decided to go and join the rest of the pride on the side of the road over there. I'm gonna try and move a little bit closer and see So, Kechi, you're asking if the male and the females both have the same life expectancy. Unfortunately not. The males seem to have a little shorter life expectancy, and the females have got a longer one. So the males would live roughly about till the age of 10 to 12 years of age, and the female males, if they're lucky enough, maybe get to around 15 or so. And at that stage, you know that those animals are already way old. And it looks like they have decided to disappear into the bush behind there where we can't see them anymore. All right, I think we are also gonna get a move on and keep heading north. And I must say, it has been blocked by this hornback spider. Quite a very large spider there. See, in the evenings, I've seen that most spiders build their webs across the road especially, and that helps them catch prey because it's much more open. And a lot of insects you can see in the camera as well. A lot of insects flying through there. All right, and I say it has been a wonderful afternoon, everybody. And I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed the show as much as we did out here. It was great seeing all those animals from the different places. And we certainly hope that while this spider makes its way back towards the tree, that we will also make our way back to camp. And then you guys will join us tomorrow morning again, same time, same place, and see if we will be as lucky as we were this morning.